Hello, everybody not watching this live. All my viewers who watch it later, that's usually what happens. So we're just shooting the shit right now. Got to talk about Clementine Ford, everyone's favorite feminist, other than like Anita Sarkeesian. And who do you think is worse? Okay, do you hate Clementine Ford more, or do you hate what's her name from Girls a lot more? Lena
what do
Dunham.
you mean from
Lena
Girls?
Dunham.
Lena Dunham?
Yeah.
Clementine Ford, definitely.
Why?
Lena Dunham is just kind of like a fat thing that decided that she figured out her niche and what works for her. But Clementine Ford is just kind of like, she seems way more angry.
And she's so ugly. She's way uglier. So she's a lot uglier, and it's like, oh my god.
That gap tooth, and it's fucked up to talk about someone's teeth, but I will suspend
I have fucked up teeth, but I don't go around posing with them and showing them off in my pictures.
You don't take face shots all the time showing, hey, look at this gap. Check it out. By the way, I'm going to be rude and mean to everybody, but here's my gap.
I have two front ones missing, and that's what pissed me off with the YouTube thing. It's because I wanted to make a little bit of money to save up so I could get them fixed,
Yeah.
Because only part of it.
Clementine Ford, and also she canceled a bunch of things. I'm pretty sure that she was part of the Point of the Spear when it comes to the Red Pill movie from Cassie J.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that she was one of the people that was fucking with Cassie J's ability to even show that movie. That whole deplatforming bullshit.
What's funny about it is like, okay, so she goes to Melbourne High School. She was on tour in Australia with her stupid book, Fight Like a Girl. She said she took. Oh, what was it? Let me go to her. It's pinned on her profile. I dipped a quill in the inky ocean of male tears and wrote an angry manifesto. That's what she calls her book. So yeah. Here's what I like about this article, though. Okay, so it says one kid, no, Darren, said that she refused to take questions from boys, and then the girls walked out. But it says, here's the funny part: they blanked out the word crap.
No kidding.
Like the word crap, really? So she said, no, I'm just taking questions from girls. Oh, that's terrible. But anyway.
So wait, what's that? Scroll up just a little bit.
Yeah.
The parent known as, is that from her driveway? She has a gated driveway.
No, that's a school.
Oh, school. All right. I was gonna say.
Look at the security at that school, though. That's crazy. So the girls walked out, and then they tried to Daily Mail contacted Ford, and she said, "Get a real job." That was her answer.
I just do not like that person and the way that she's treated other people, and that's kind of like my litmus test for, just the random person is how do they treat other people.
Yeah.
And if they treat other people poorly, I don't give a shit if you're like the most lefty person. One of my best friends is this crazy lady who lives in San Francisco who she organized one of the slut walks several years ago, and she's still one of my best friends, and she understands that we have completely different opinions, but she's still a really cool person. Like, we didn't talk for years, but I ended up sending her a random message, just, hey, look, we haven't talked in a while about blah blah blah. Well, guess what? We text every day, sort of bullshit, and there's a difference between letting your politics decide whether or not you can be friends with someone, and I think that's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Here's the other thing.
She's just, in my opinion, a mean-spirited piece of shit.
So she's complaining that guys commented later. Someone drew a swastika on his arm and sent her a picture of it or something like that. And someone called her cunt, and people said things to her on Twitter afterwards. So the boys just saved their comments until they found her later on Twitter. But she said this is the pathetic thing. Okay, these are 15, 16-year-old boys we're talking about, right? Year 10, which is like 15-year-olds. Grade 10 here is 15. So anyway, when her actions were called into question, she responded noting the boys were rude in the session and she is not paid to deal with ongoing bullshit. All I've done is discuss the frustration of dealing with childish, defensive boys and shared comments left on my account. I was paid to speak for 50 minutes. I was not paid to deal with ongoing bullshit and demands from small-minded boys who cannot handle being shown that their worldview is limited.
And that's something that kind of bugs me. It's like I like people who will challenge my beliefs. I like that pushback. That's something that's important to me, is because if I'm surrounded by people who just agree with me, like I'm, like that gets contentious. Like I'm thinking, okay, well, no one's going to tell me that I'm wrong. I don't believe these people, or, I have a hard time believing these people. I need, just as a person sort of thing. Like I need that sort of pushback. I need someone to tell me, you're right about, or, you're right about this, or you're wrong about that sort of thing. And
yeah.
Or I think that you're wrong about this, and it's like, okay, well, you need to challenge those beliefs, otherwise you end up in that, that SJW. Well, I call it an SJW echo chamber, but the right does it just as well. You can see that, like when they're like, oh yeah,
okay,
yeah,
they've been doing this a while. They've been doing this a while in Australia, at the school for a few years with Clementine, apparently. But it says that, here's what the letter they sent out. Based on the reactions of some students immediately after the talk, and some unfortunate behavior that has occurred following the assembly, it's clear that we have more work to do in opening up this topic to the students in a way that answers their questions and confusion and can provide meaningful preparation for the remainder of Year 10 program. We are considering the most effective way to address this topic is through a guest speaker such as Ms. Ford, and we'll look for alternative approaches in the future. Mm-hmm. And then they basically said, everybody be nice to Miss Clementine and don't say anything rude to her.
That's okay, so like it's one of those things where someone says something inflammatory and then they use it as proof that they need to say more inflammatory things. I think that's pretty fucked up. Like that's rude as shit, like if I were to say, well, like we don't need to kill all women, okay? Just the mouthy ones.
Look at this dude, cunt, though. Look what you signed in someone's book. Have you killed any men today? And if not, why? What the fuck? A bit.
I have never wanted to punch a woman in the head.
No,
but at the same time, Clementine would be one of those. If he said no, I would. Like I'm not violent about political things, but
you would be tempted to punch her in the cunt. That's where I would punch her. I'm just saying.
There we go. Well, it's not like she's going to use it.
I know. Not me. I would get like a girlfriend to do it. With high heels. Or
you know what? Like so I used to. As far as like the whole Antifa and all that bullshit circulates, I used to be in the punk scene a whole bunch. Like that's how I grew up, and I was around those a lot. And I know a lot of those punk chicks and those people that would be in the Antifa circles recently, more recently, and yep. and to get a girl to go beat up another girl, like,
but this woman,
it would be a very easy thing for me to do.
Here's the scary thing. This woman,
take a phone call.
Number one, says that she hates men all the time and talks about killing men, but yet a man fucked her and she's still with him. She's still with the guy. She says partner, so I don't know. Is she with a lesbian now? I don't know.
The partner thing always screws me up. Like seriously, like
her kid's a son.
Hold the thought, but that whole partner thing always bugs me. Like I never really understand what it's supposed to mean, and even that there's this really pretty girl from Ireland that talks about it. What's her name? It starts with a C.
It just means not married.
Yeah, well, when they say partner, though, it doesn't mean male or female,
I know.
and it's pretty weird. God damn it! I need to like try to search my subscriptions, and that's
Hang on,
not
let
gonna
me
work.
look. Let me look it up. um,
It's a guy. It's a lady that Computing Forever mentioned, but yeah. The the whole idea of introducing someone as a partner seems kind of like it seems kind of vapid. It seems like a sort of like a passing thing, like this is the guy who, like this is my valet, this is the person who brought me my car, sort of bullshit. And I just see it as one of those things that like this person has very little or no importance when they talk about them. So that's just my opinion, but yeah,
do you want to see her
go
man?
for it.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. This is her man. Yeah, that's the guy
That
she's
guy.
dating. Yeah.
Okay, so like I don't know, like we
I
sort
have
of
to
have
say
a
this though.
file. Go ahead.
My my name is Jeff. Anyway, the whole "my name is Jeff" thing. That's what I think of with that guy, some Mexican dude.
Oh, there's a new person here, Kyle.
I know.
Hello.
Kyle's not here.
Hi,
He's
Kyle.
dead. You're dead to me,
Hi.
Kyle.
I'm never dead to you.
I know. Clementine Ford is dead to me, though. I feel really bad though that they have a son together. Like her baby is a boy. I feel horrible for him. Like this woman needs to have her kids taken away. If she's going around talking about how much she hates men and that men should die and everything else, and the way she talks about men and boys wearing skirts and shit, she should immediately at least be investigated or have her son taken away because like
Yeah, her child's going to be tortured.
yeah, he's
I
gonna turn
agree,
4 or 5
like,
years old and he's gonna be in a dress. He's gonna be wearing girls' clothes. You know it.
Oh yeah,
I agree,
definitely.
and actually, yeah, like that's something that I fear. Like my sister has it. Sorry for the dogs barking. Fuck. I have a sister who just got a PhD, and she's like in like one of those stupid fields that nobody cares about. Like
Feminist
early
studies or
childhood
something.
development. I think. Yes, exactly, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
No one will ever call her doctor, and uh, she has that sort of bullshit, but she also has children, and the saddest thing is that like like she's gonna treat her children really fucked up, and I worry about that.
But come on, her man's standing there outside of fucking Home Depot, and she goes there and she drives by and she walks past him, and he catches her eye and he sees that face looking at him, and he goes, gotta have me some of that. Like, what the fuck? That's scary. That face there. Holy shit. Like, who finds? I don't know who's finding that sexy. I really don't.
Though everyone finds everything different. I try not to make fun of ugly people because there are someone's going to find that attractive, and that's okay. And I don't want to like denigrate the person who finds that attractive. It's just like, to me, that's like this gap tooth fat bitch that wants to talk shit about everybody else. It's like like right now I'm sore from lifting weights yesterday, and everything, like seriously, like getting out of bed sucked. Trying to use my upper body to get out of bed sucked. And you see this gap tooth bitch, and it's like, wow, I would not fuck it. Like I wouldn't even kick her out of bed. She just would never make it there.
One of the worst ones for that is like Cat Black, those belly shirts she wears. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh no!
Don't show your tummy off. I that's fine being comfortable with it. Like I date fat chicks, but I like but they don't dress like that.
Yeah, you know what? Like I'm totally fine with chubby chicks.
Yeah,
Like I've been there and I'll be there again, I'm sure.
but just don't dress so slutty. That's
it's if you have it, flaunt it. But if you don't, then don't. Like
Flaunt
nobody's
it.
trying to show off. Yeah, obesity.
Ford is filth in every sense of the word. That got me smile. Puke. This was on the thing when she told the reporter to get a life or get a job or whatever.
Who is Amy Gray? Do you have an explanation for her, or is she just some random person?
She's a writer for The Guardian.
Oh fuck!
So
The
like,
Guardian's such garbage.
I don't know. Look at her, so professional with her smoking and shit.
Hey, you know one thing though about The Guardian is that Glenn Greenwald used to work there, but he left there to do that whole Snowden bullshit. And but at the same time, like if you look at Glenn Greenwald, like he's not like a never Trumper or anything. You'll see that he has his biases in certain things, but like I really appreciate his biases. Like he's steadfast in them. He will say things like freedom of speech is way more important than this, and if it's on the side of Trump, then so be it, sort of thing. So Glenn Greenwald, in my opinion, is like he's
intellectually consistent.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so yeah, the one thing about her, okay, was this ad that we were watching earlier. So I'm gonna play it again live, but because it's only like 30 seconds or whatever. It's really ridiculous though. Hang on, I gotta restart it. Okay, this is an Australian commercial, all right, where they were all talking about same-sex marriage in Australia, and they're talking about why you should vote no, and it's pretty funny, but it's Clementine's reaction to it that's bullshit later on. So let me play this first.
I told my son he could wear a dress next year if he felt like it. When same-sex marriage passes as law overseas, this type of program becomes widespread and compulsory.
So dramatic.
Asked to role play being in a same-sex relationship. You can't say no.
So yeah,
that last lady was really pretty.
I know, but I love the Chinese girl who like doesn't even speak the language and she's like reading a cue card.
Yeah,
definitely. You can see the direction of eye contact. They're looking for something or looking at something, which is like it's very telling.
Well, this whole thing, oh yeah, they're gonna start to marry their dogs.
Right. we eat those in our country, so that's not okay.
Okay, this is the part though. The ad in this Clementine Ford, okay. The advertisement question here focuses very little on two members of the same sex getting married. It's the trouble that comes afterwards that we should really be worried about. People marrying bridges, boys being forced to wear pink, feminist outlaws stay-at-home mothers. Where will the madness end? Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. That's what it is. That's when you know that.
Like as far as Australia goes, like I don't know about you guys, but something that I study quite a bit is Islam and Sharia law and stuff like that. Like I have like several bookshelves full of these books, sort of bullshit. Like I look at it quite a bit, and she seems to be attacking just the like white people are evil sort of niche, which is. It's average. Like it's almost like you can dismiss it easily, sort of thing. Like when you have these liberals that just say, well, white people are evil, so we don't have to study anything. But when you look at go ahead.
I was gonna say, I hate to tell you, but this woman that you said is hot is actually a pastor.
She's pretty. Wait, she's a pastor? Hey, you know what? Like, I'm not totally against religion. It's just look at her. She's pretty. She's pretty. Okay, so if you guys had to choose, not even if you had to choose, but she's a decent looking woman. She's way better looking than Clementine.
Yeah, but you don't stick your dick in crazy. So.
Hey, you know what though? You're not supposed to stick your dick in crazy, but I've done it several times, and hey, like it's a lot of fun. But the thing is you need to leave a fake number, like a 6-digit phone number, or you
God
need
help
to,
you! Don't let
Go ahead.
Don't let them know where you live and everything.
Yeah, you don't let them know where you live. You go to their place and then you leave. You don't let them. Yeah.
You
See-
make sure you drive back home like a spy.
See, when they say that parents are upset
Yep.
with their sons wanting to wear dresses, it's not that they're homophobic or that they're afraid of having a gay kid, because cross-dressing doesn't necessarily mean gay. And when you're a little kid, you, as a boy, there's lots of boys who have done this. Walk around the house in their mother's high heels if they have a single mother or whatever.
Right. Like I was
As a
little kid.
5-year-old.
I wanted to be a fire truck when I was a 5-year-old. A fire truck, not a fireman. I wanted to be the fire truck because, in my mind, like that made the most sense. It's very
And that's
stupid.
very normal.
Yeah. so the fire truck, it's always there and it helps people. Cool. Fire truck. Pro fire truck. Yeah. But like I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, I agree in the part about not telling them that they can't do that. You know, like the argument is that what Kyle turned out gay because his parents didn't tell him not to wear dresses. Like, come on, that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
really.
And if
like
people
Kyle,
turn up gay.
by the
Go
way,
ahead.
Kyle, when did you know anyway?
Ever since I was, in elementary school, I always knew, but
Yeah.
I didn't really tell myself. I actually looked at myself in the mirror and was like, I am gay when I was like probably about 13 or 14, but I always knew.
So right around puberty. That's interesting because like in middle school, right around puberty, in my sphere, I had a friend who was definitely gay. Like like pretty much everyone knew, but at the same time, like we were best friends, and I was playing football on the football team, and he was gay, but like we were best friends regardless. And one of the things that came up, like from time to time was, well, your friend Matt is gay. Well, I don't give a shit. I've slept in Matt's bedroom, on the floor, sort of bullshit. Like it's never been like a predatory thing. And if you wanna fuck with my friend, then I'm gonna light you up. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, sort of thing. Like it's never been a contentious issue. Like I've never seen. Hey, Schmeckel's here.
Samaj.
Or at least I think that's Schmeckel.
No,
Samaj.
Schmeckel is a cunt. Anyway, no, it's not Schmeckel. He wouldn't come in.
But those people who are gay, they just kind of like they figure it out around puberty, in my opinion. Like that's what I've noticed. But at the same time, it's like it's sort of a weird thing that like it's not contentious. It's nobody wants to.
This next part on here that says like, oh, we're being asked to role play being in a same-sex relationship. I don't think these 12-year-olds should be simulating relationships in like health class or whatever, or social studies or whatever.
No, they shouldn't be simulating straight relationships either. That should,
That's what I'm saying, because every relationship is so friggin' different, and definitely they definitely don't work in the traditional way today. Like, it's creepy. It reminds me of that show Wayward Pines, okay, where they're trying to repopulate, and so they have the kids in class, and they go, oh, your life partner's going to be Billy, and they partner them off with each other. That's what it reminds me of, trying to repopulate the earth and force these people together to like, or like at a dance, where they're trying to force the boys and girls. It was in like a movie where they tried to force the boys and girls to dance together. I can't remember what movie that was, but and it was just so awkward, and they were like afraid to touch each other, so they're like, leave room in between you for Jesus. That's what it used to be, right? You had to keep them at arm's length when you were at the dance when you were 12.
Oh yeah.
It'll be boys along the wall and girls on the other wall, and like the teachers had to try and get you guys to dance or whatever. Yeah, pretty much bullshit. But this whole thing, like, I don't know why they're simulating relationships in these classes anyway. Anyway,
Yeah, I never got that.
Samaj, Octane, how are you guys doing?
Hi guys.
Oh, okay. This is very hot here, and I am on Red's stream. I was trying to ask to be joined in, but they appeared that either they ignored me or anything like that. But I'm not going to get too much into
Oh,
detail.
no.
I will
I
send you.
messaged Red and everything and tried to get you in, but she never responded to me or anything, so I don't know what happened with that.
I tried. Well,
I'm not going to do into drama or anything like that. It's just that what's been going on, really.
I don't know.
It's
I mean,
okay, but
I
whatever.
would have sent you the link, but I didn't. I only opened my Twitter like a little while ago, so
That's
See,
okay.
Okay, so Clementine thinks instead of worrying about this same-sex marriage act in Australia, you should worry about something real, like a girl has other girls in the class being really slutty at parties, and she's not ready for that. And so peer pressure makes it so hard for her to say no. You know what? That girl's lying. She wants to fuck. She just is too scared to do it.
All right.
Like you can tell by her word. It makes it difficult to say no. It's like, yeah. So teach them safe sex. That's the way to do it. Since they're
And that's pretty much the whole story of high school, is that everyone wants to fuck, but nobody wants to be responsible for it. What if everyone finds out that I, smoked and poked sort of, her or him sort of bullshit? And like seriously, like after high school,
here's what should worry us, okay? It should worry us the fact that that's a year 7 girl talking about other girls in her class having parties and having sex. Where are your parents?
At sophomore at high school?
No, year 7 is like great. It's like 12-year-olds.
Oh God. Okay.
Like
so yeah, you add the year plus 5.
What is wrong with these parents friggin' doing this shit? Like, you know what I mean? What is wrong with these parents that these 12-year-olds are managing to have these parties?
well, you have to understand that part of the reason why there's been this huge push to make the parents not responsible. It's always someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the majority of most parents nowadays are single parents, and they're usually mothers, and they don't like being held responsible. So,
I mean, total evidence. I do agree. I will agree to that.
well, a lot of women out there, they don't like to take responsibility for a lot of these things, a lot of these single parents, because they have like too much to do and all that stuff. So if they can shift the blame, which is exactly what they've been doing, then obviously it's always someone else's fault. It's never the parents' fault for, watching the kids.
That and also,
Hey,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Just asking, how do I pronounce your name? Samaj or how is that?
Samaj. I mean,
Samaj.
just the Z's silent, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you could try to pronounce it. You could try not to.
Cool. But yeah, I totally agree, and it's a parent's position that they need to be able to take care of these things, and I think that a lot of people and a lot of parents don't want to, like have to talk to their children like, hey, by the way, you're now going through puberty and you're gonna want to fuck a lot. Well, here's the problem. You're gonna want to fuck a lot, but here's the thing: is that you need to use a condom, because if you don't, you're gonna get a girl pregnant. Or when they're talking to their daughters, they're gonna be like, hey, by the way, like you're gonna get an ornery set of feelings that you're gonna want to, do a lot of deplorable things, and you can do that. But the thing is that you need to consider that you're going to do things that will change the rest of your life if you get pregnant. So take care of that, and you need to think that, make sure that the other person wears condoms, and here's a bunch of condoms, and we're not telling you to be degenerate, but if it happens, then here you go.
Maybe
at least
really
be responsible.
Okay. Maybe I'm really high here, but Clementine Ford is showing off this in Singapore. Okay, she's found her book. Look at the books that are around it, though. She's surrounded by a book called
Lucifer
Bitch.
Effect of 2020.
A book called Bitch, The Lucifer Effect. Too fat, too slutty, too loud. And then Corruption and Capitalism.
Bitch doctrine.
And Singapore business law.
Boom.
I know, but the Lucifer.
Whatever.
Like,
I've been to Singapore before. I never saw anything like feminist bullshit.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's just that it's a very totalitarian country, according to Amos E, though. I mean, sure, it's nice. Yeah, that guy's irrelevant now. Even though the
They
stuff.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened with him anyway?
Oh no, she just made an unpopular opinion and about like saying that children who are younger, or he doesn't want to have a limit on the
Like-
age of consent.
Hey, if you want
Sorry, who is talking about Amos? Like, I don't see the little
me.
graphic.
It's
Is that
me, it's
Octane?
me. Yes, me.
Yeah.
Octane. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here's what you want to look for because Chair's presenting. When people are talking, you'll see at least 3 green dots next to in the bottom corner of the
looking.
icon. Yeah, when that
I
goes
didn't
up,
see him.
well, that's because
Sorry.
his background's white, and mine's kind of green, so it blends. But if you can see it, then you'll know someone's talking.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on mine a little bit since my background is a bit white as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
if you want to pose nude, go ahead. But it's like, don't complain when people comment on your body. You're posting it because you want comments on your body, okay?
Yeah.
But you have to accept that you're gonna get negative along with the positive. So whatever.
I mean, I always like to think of this. If I ever done something, I always think about as much as like there's going to be some comments everywhere. There's going to be positive comments overflowing with it. So
This
there's
is what one of the kids for the school sent her, though. It's so funny.
Wait, but this was from the account from another boy who tagged me in an abusive post on his Instagram. Nice boys, they're growing there.
I don't know if he put that on there or if she did.
It's whatever it is. Looks like it was done on MS Paint, so it's pretty bullshit.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Bye, Chair.
See you later.
Take care. Be good.
Take it easy, my dude. Don't be evil.
I have to actually go eat souls.
Nice.
All right.
Take care, man.
Just a reminder that my talk was a very straightforward look at the stats on women in media and pop culture. Little princes be triggered.
No.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about regarding Clementine Ford is the have each of you guys seen the red pill from Cassie J?
Yeah,
No, not yet.
Not the whole thing, but
I've actually talked to her in person. Well, not in person,
that's
but on
awesome.
a stream. Yeah, I've been with. Yeah, nice woman. Nice woman.
She's so pretty. Yeah, no, she's also a very nice woman, and I really appreciate like what she does and everything, and like that sort of hit on personal character that she took in order to make that. That's something that's like, could you ask someone, hey, by the way, all of your friends are gonna fucking hate you in a month from now, so hey, you want to do this? And then everyone that all your best friends are gonna want to punch you in the face. Like that's such a, the way that she had to learn that people were going to treat her poorly afterwards sucks. But at the same time, like she's such a cool person. Like, at least from my skimming of social media and watching her movie and everything.
Well, and her movie is like what, third of the best sellers in like, what was it, Sweden? It's like it was like one below Moana. I'm like, this is a movie that definitely, like, she made something that definitely resonated with people, and the media is saying, oh, it's a terrible, misogynistic, all that kind of stuff, and
yeah.
And we all know the backlash she's faced, and to echo that. There's another person we saw who was also experiencing all this backlash, and that was Lacey Green. I mean, you took someone who at face value, all she did is she had a conversation, and then she started dating someone. I mean, that being like Chris Reagan and all that, and she lost like her job, connections. She had like university speaking stuff, not doing that anymore. She was essentially like, it was scorched earth on her, and anything else that she could do, not happening. Now,
and she knew that it was going to happen too. She mentioned it in several tweets. Like, I'm not a Lacey Green fan. I think that she's kind of a shithead in her own right. Like, but at the same time, she understood that once she crossed these people that she was normally, friends with, that she knew that everything was going to turn to shit, and she was totally right.
Well, we actually saw another story. I was just going to say there was another aspect to this, because this happened, like her conversion, if you will, came just before VidCon. And
Ooh.
and during VidCon, there was another incident that people were very hopeful for change, and that was actually involving Francesca Ramsey. And and then after that, like, she went on a series of podcasts and stuff, and essentially, like, all that good faith that was built up, she essentially said, "Oh yeah, they're terrible people. I just did it to amuse them. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And it was a very harsh thing, but I think that was mostly of a self-defense thing, because she probably looked at Lacey Green and went, "Yeah, no, that's fucked up. I don't want that for myself," and ends up doing damage control on that podcast. So,
Right, and
Yeah.
go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think that that's the best way I can think of is that she was just scared for her livelihood, and that's why she was saying what
Exactly.
she said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
She
why-
definitely mentioned that. She mentioned that on Twitter. Like, I don't follow her on Twitter anymore. She's kind of like boring. Like, I don't follow Chris Reagan either. Like, they kind of irritate me, but they make sense in everything. And yeah, she left her sort of like a protective, progressive bubble, and she knew that what she was doing. And she knew that they were going to attack her like crazy. And as she did so, they did attack her as crazy. And she's like, yeah, well, now she's going to be like a nurse or something. She's going to be going to school to be a nurse. And that's totally cool. And she, like, she's usually talking about like warts and, hot red spots on people's genitals. So maybe that's totally within her wheelhouse.
Well, actual health related stuff. I mean, yeah, fine. I mean, if there's another course for you to go in, I mean, go see. I'm just gonna see if she has a Patreon,
Yes.
because that might be her other avenue of revenue.
But hey, you know what though? Like one thing, like I want to talk shit about. Sometimes I want to talk shit about Lacey, but at the same time, she went through a whole lot of bullshit, and she knew that she was going to both lose her career at MTV and also be vilified by anyone who slightly disagrees with her, and that takes some balls. Like seriously, like, to think that, hey, I'm gonna get fired for my beliefs. Like, I work for a company that's does adult entertainment, so trying to get me fired is going to be very difficult. You said something mean. Yeah, well, one of the titles is motherfucks teen. Like, how you gonna?
You say that, but there are certain avenues of pornography that are completely feminist oriented.
Oh,
And
God.
I think, yeah,
To a
there are.
degree.
I mean, well, I was listening to the Honey Badgers, and Anna Cherry, who is a porn star, has talked about the porn industry and where things have been infected. With that said, though, I think this is slightly becoming old news, because the culture war, if you will, has pretty much been won. I mean, feminism is nowhere near as popular as it used to be, nor is anything social justice or
Agreed.
highly liberal.
Yeah.
With that said, though, the big problem is still that the people are still in power, the politicians, the teachers, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Those people are still in charge, and so long as they're in charge, things are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I think that they're aware that what they have to say is no longer popular. So it's like they have nothing left to lose, and that's the scariest part of all. And that's essentially why here in Canada we have like that pronoun law. We have all these other crazy, extreme laws now being passed.
I'm just going to say also where I live, I think I could also be affected as well. Let me see. I remember. We're going to imply the same thing over there in Canada, where I'm living. Guess where I'm living?
San Francisco?
I meant for the other guy. Huh? But never mind. It's okay. You said it out. Yeah, I live in the Bay Area, so the most progressive fucking place I've ever been. I was
the home of Full House.
yeah, true that. Yeah, I used to be once progressive, but now seeing of what's been going on, actually, I decided to leave it. So yeah.
Well, it's a little hard to me not to be raised as a progressive. I mean, it's all over Hollywood and schools and everything. It's everywhere you look.
Yeah, but I think it depends on where you live. It's usually the more the upper middle class areas where most of this is infected. Now, it does affect the lower end, which is where I sort of live. I'm sort of the working class, but I do think it's still being a bit affected, but we're not as affected as the big, just straight middle class or upper middle class kids, or the social hierarchy, if you want to say that. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. My question is, how long is this going to change, though?
Well, I mean, change often change is slow. I mean, a lot of times it can go, it can happen really fast, or it can happen really slow. If it goes too fast, it'll be like putting society in shock, and they'll end up with things going pretty far in one direction or the other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
my biggest fear is that there's going to be some sort of federal interdiction, and
oh yeah, definitely.
Sort of turning those things turning things like Facebook and turning things like Google into utilities, which works for, like, okay, so if you were to look at things that have been turned into utilities, which is basically the whole phone network, like those twisted pairs that run up to your house that make your phone ring. Those things are also powered by the CO, the central office that's nearest to you, that provides, like, when the power's out, your phone still works, sort of bullshit. The FCC regulates the phone networks in a way that says that if your phone, if the phone doesn't work in this area for X number of hours during a year, then you're going to get fined. So, okay, so we look at that, and then we look at, well, when you have networks like, Facebook or Google, and they can then, like, sort of deperson a person, like Daily Stormer, and, like it goes without saying, I think the Daily Stormer is deplorable. I think Andrew Anglin is a fucking asshole. But at the same time, if they can take his right to speak away from him, then guess what? They can take it away from you. They can take it away from me. It doesn't matter. If that's a means that they have, like something within their toolkit, something within their means, they can take that away from another person, then I think that's totally fucked up, and I hate it. And I do not appreciate it. And it's like, okay, so they can take away someone's right to talk. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Well, I mean, the problem with that is that it'll always inevitably end up with a backlash, because when you take away someone's right to speak and all that stuff, all you end up doing is you turn them into martyrs, and then more people will speak up, and more and more and more. I mean, look at what happened with Sargon. His Twitter account was taken away. For what reason? Who knows? No one knows. Twitter didn't give him a reason, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, a little quote from JonTron. I remembered that censorship doesn't really quiet things down; it's actually make it more louder and louder.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that get censored, a lot of people want to see what it means, like, in full, like. Like, for the longest time, some of us who are, like, in our 30s have grown up when you'd have TVs, and there'd be those, like, pay-for channels that you can barely see. It'd be like the colors be off and all that stuff, and you're like, I know this is porn. I know this is porn. And you're waiting for someone to take something off. It's like, I think I see a boob. Is that a boob? Can't make it
and then
out.
it turns out to be something really retarded, and it has nothing to do with porn.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
And you were jerking off to it.
Well, and the funny thing is, I learned the rhythm. It was like Friday and Saturday night. They did have like softcore porn related stuff. So if you stay up and you watch one of that around like 10 o'clock or so, you might see something. You might see something.
The only thing I say,
look,
there's a show on. Did you get showcased it there, Samaj?
Yeah. I'm in Canada.
They had that real sex show, and then they had that one that was like following this cam girl and creating her website. There's a show called Kink that used to be on.
I remember Kink. Of course, I remember Kink. How could I forget Kink? It's all about Kink.
The one where the guy went to tour all those weird places, weird Weird Sex was it called?
Oh,
With that
yeah.
British guy, he went to do all these weird sexual things. Or whatever.
Okay, is this the show? Kink, a Canadian documentary TV series which
Yep.
first named in 2001, primarily on human sexuality, primarily linked with kink and fetish scenes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I grew up watching that show. When I say grew up, I mean like in my teen years, I'd stay up late to watch it.
I can't blame you. Well, the only thing I had to stay up is wait until Toonami tunes in the American time and watch anime.
The other one was funnier because there's this teen British guy who called all these things, and like he would get dominated, and they'd beat his ass and everything.
Oh god.
There was one scene because I remember that was a British show, and British shows they're more lax on things like nudity and stuff like that, so that's why it was so entertaining. But the other thing about it is that the guy went to go see. There was one episode where he went to go see a dominatrix, and she tied him down to a bed or to like some wood or something like that, and his ass was stuck in the air. And she didn't really tell him what she was doing, but she opened up a bottle of wine and sucked the whole wine up his ass. And his ass was up there, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" and the ball was empty. It was like I was watching this, going, "My god, how is this on television?"
I know.
That
Yeah,
wears
some of
me
the
out a lot.
some of the stuff the guy did. Holy shit! You're like, what the fuck? Like the pet play one, and then the horse play and that kind of thing. It was just like really weird.
I remember there was an episode of Kink way back when we were talking with a couple of gay porn actors, and they talk about filming stuff and how they they meet up with their partners that day and they introduce new stuff. That was my first introduction to what was called sounding. I was like, that's these metal rods, and where do they go? Oh my god! They didn't show it go in, but yeah, they explained all that, and yeah, it was interesting.
Man.
So a little bit more on topic. Let's get back to Clementine Ford.
Good point.
And the way that she's been pretty much like a huge piece of shit to other people. I don't.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say, where is she from, and where's she mostly residents in? Just wondering.
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Baring had a whole thing that he was doing about her because she was really pissing him off, and for good reason.
I saw. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna, and for good reason. She's I try to remember all the videos that he did on her, but she was saying some fucked up shit.
I think I remember a video said Sweden is influencing boys to go genderless. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because that's not harmful.
That's not
so
harmful
I
at all.
sent a link in the right hand bar. I don't know if you guys who are connected, Octane and Smej.
Smaj. I got it.
Yeah, in the right hand side. Like you see Cassie J, and then it goes down to, and you have these things from that bitch, and
who's the bitch? Just to make sure.
Clementine Ford.
Clementine Ford.
Oh, her. Wait, the article written? Where is
Yeah.
Oh, well, Clementine Ford's still the bitch. Australia also elected a feminist to what's it called? Parliament. She was there for probably like 2 years, 3 years, something like that. She didn't run out an entire term. They kind of like chased her ass out.
Oh man.
And, it was some redhead bitch. But I don't remember what her party or what her name was. So other people might be more wise to that, but the Australians did some fucked up. They picked her.
I actually saw a showing of the Red Pill in my area, and I met with. Oh yeah, and I met with the honey badgers and all that. So that was pretty cool. I legitimately thought that there was going to be a protest outside of there because I saw all the other videos and I was legitimately nervous. And the thing is that especially if you've been paying attention to a lot of men's stuff, I mean, you watch the movie, it's nothing you haven't heard 1,000 times before. So, but it was still good to see it condensed in the movie format. And when the movie was done, I'd poke my head, try to see if I could poke my head out of the theater. Like, is it safe to come outside? What's going on? I mean, that level of nervousness that was brought on as a result of something like this should tell you that there's something wrong. I mean, people should be able to go see a movie and not have to worry about potentially getting assaulted when they leave the theater.
Just because they're just curious.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I personally want to know when I'm wrong. Like I need people to give me pushback, and I need to know like when I, like I try to look at both sides of the argument, and then people are like, "Well, you're centrist." No, I'm not a centrist. Like I picked my side already. But at the same time, like that's very interesting, and also it's really cool that you met the honey badgers. Like I'm a bit jealous. I've been supporting the honey badgers, like through Patreon and stuff, for a good long while. I like them quite a bit. They're awesome. Each and every one of them are different, and I like that. Like of course there are female members, but there are also male members, and they each have their own like proclivities, and they make their own, like how they make sense of the world and how they view the world is so different and interesting. I like them each. They're awesome.
Yeah, but I like one for her looks more than her. No, Allison's great, but did you see her last video where they were like, why Honey Badger Radio is a failure?
Yeah.
So they created a website now. So they put all their
Typhon Blue, yeah.
Yeah, all their all their RSS feeds are now in the same spot on a website, so they can't get.
Well, and I totally agree.
Or something, yeah.
And I agree with her, like her assessment about like why Honey Badger Radio sucks, because it's very, YouTube is very algorithmic, if you will, and
yeah, definitely.
And what she was saying, because like they learned all this while going to VidCon, and all of that makes sense. All of that makes sense. The whole like the rhythm and the algorithm and all that stuff, and because of the way that they do their videos, they're never going to be popular. And
can I give an example?
Mm-hmm.
Here's an example. I watched Gemini's video on the Jake Paul. I know we're bringing him up, but Gemini made a great video on how did Jake Paul got himself famous, and what Jake Paul did is look what things have been popular and try to copy them off there, and that's how he got so famous so well. Is by just trying to copy it off, and of course knowing the algorithm in itself. I mean, YouTube in itself. Okay, if I can try to find a way to make a incognito window and just type in YouTube and see what are the main points, the main popular. Okay, can I show my screen?
Go for it.
Okay. Okay. Here's an incognito tab. Let's see what's trending right now. Okay. So what do you see?
I hate
We were
YouTube's new
talking
layout.
about that earlier.
I don't like the new layout. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
I hate it. Actually, the color is awesome. Is awful. Like, I liked the darker red before. Like now, it's just like this.
Yeah.
Like as far
Bright
red
red
as you can get. Yeah.
All of this is just popularized on like basically big popular YouTubers and just sort of mainstreaming on like, of course, to younger kids mostly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's how Jake Paul got himself popular.
Yeah, I mean, just being trendy and all that, that's how you get popular, and I get it. It sucks, though, because, I mean, sometimes people do want to see original content, but they're never going to get it. Sometimes they want to see something that is, like, actually political. A little hard to see.
I think it's just that, of course, this is YouTube, and they need to find a way to make money, and, of course, since I heard YouTube is one of the lowest ways to make money in their revenue.
I agree. I think that Jake Paul's one of those phenomenons that just sort of like sweep the low information sort of people. Like it's a I like this guy, and I don't give a shit about YouTube sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's more of a like a testament more towards they like the personality rather than they like the like what's going on.
Content.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the personalities of some of the fellow YouTubers. Very nice, very peppy, if that's a word, and just sort of be out there, and that's it. Really, I think if you summarize most of the YouTube stars.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So we were talking about Clementine Ford.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I don't know, easy to fucking dogs are barking again. It's easy to drag back towards that, and Clementine Ford is one of those people that she's just like protested, and she's also protested for shit that has been terrible, like the Ghostbusters movie. She was definitely for that, and then like they lost $100 million on it. So
Yeah. No, hey, it was hilarious though. At least that movie failed completely on its butt.
oh,
Well-
it burned out so hard to the point where Paul Feig, I believe it's Paul Feig, it can no longer make movies. Like no one's going to give him money.
Well, I can foresee him making movies again, but he'll never tackle another
Feminist.
reboot. However,
associate that movie again. Sorry.
do not be surprised if he actually does come back for Ghostbusters 2. And
Well,
yes, they will be making a sequel, and I'll tell you why. It's not because it's going to necessarily make a lot of money.
Let me
But
guess.
they
I know
have-
what you're gonna say. Can I predict?
All right.
Is it because of all of the merchandise that they're
Yeah.
trying to sell back, mostly?
Yeah, because they can't sell it and they can't redo everything. Most that they can do is repackage it. And the only way you can repackage it is if you make another movie.
Here's the thing: if he can make a movie that's actually good and doesn't have to deal with this feminist propaganda bullshit, then I can see them being successful.
Well, and I've actually stepped back from the feminist propaganda stuff because I'm actually thinking that wasn't really the big issue. I think the big issue is
The movie it sucked.
well, yeah, that too, but also the fact that people are getting really, really, really sick of reboots.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
I mean-
There's so many reboots that.
Well, reboots and revisions, like I'm sure you all know the latest, fumble, and that's involving the Lord of the Flies movie, right? Making it Lord of the Flies
Yeah, I
movie.
don't-
absolutely, I've heard lots of problems about that, and oh my god, like you think about leaving women on their own island by themselves, that's going to
Oh,
cause
God.
problems.
Well,
That's
I mean,
definitely. If you
Yeah,
think
how's it
about-
gonna work?
I mean, usually, if you think about it, of course, the difference between men and women, of course, women being the nurturers and men being the resource gatherers or the scavengers.
Yeah, like I've been in a situation before where sorry about the dogs barking. Fuck, I'll mute this.
No, that's okay. Just keep
Yes.
on going. Your voice is a lot more
Okay.
pronounced.
Sorry. So I've been in a situation before where I was on a camping trip out in the middle of nowhere, and I live in Arizona. I was out in the middle of nowhere, and we were driving around, and we ended up popping two tires at the same time, and we were kind of fucked because that was the only vehicle that could get us back to civilization, and it really sucked. But the thing is that the only people left back at camp were ladies, and I left radios for them. Like we had like 10-mile radius radios. And they were, like, hey, ladies, by the way, start a big fire because we're lost and we broke the truck. So we need to be, yeah, exactly. It sucked a lot. It ended up getting bailed out, but it was a shit situation. But at the same time, the ladies were totally fucked. Like trying to get them to even just understand, the difference between clean water and dirty water. Like, okay, so the cooler that we have that has a bunch of ground beef in it. That's in the Don't drink water out of that. That's bad for you. They were seriously like that fucking dumb, and I don't want to touch I don't hate them for that or anything. It's just like they didn't really have the whole I live in the desert, and seriously, like if you put me up against a rattlesnake, I know exactly how to handle that. I've got
So
pictures.
in other words, they'd end up using poison ivy for tampons.
Exactly. Like these people were fucking dumb, and that's just girls because they don't need to understand or fear how things work. And I will deal with a rattlesnake, and I will deal with black widows and all that bullshit without question. It does not bother me, but for women, it's like to them it seemed like an insurmountable sort of oh, how am I supposed to deal with this? It's like no. What you need to do is you need to be calm. You need to figure out, okay, we're in a thing that makes everything dangerous, so we're in a situation that's scary, but we can do this. And what we need to do is we need to figure out, okay, well, we have water, we have food, we're okay for at least a couple days, and then we need to be able to find help after that. But like it was so difficult for them to be able to get into that mindset. And it's like they were seriously freaking out and like, hey, you know what, ladies, like, I was in the truck that broke down. Calm the fuck down. We will be able to do this. We got this,
Yeah.
So there was a show. I don't know if it was on the Discovery Channel, but it was called. I believe it was called Naked and Afraid. Or maybe it was something else. But it was or maybe I'm thinking of a different one, because there was one where people were in the dark, and there's one where they were out on the island.
Is it random people who just meet up and they just undress, or it was just a random guy who just lost himself on an island by himself?
I don't necessarily the thing. All I know is that you had a couple of men, you had a couple of women, and they were all naked, and they had the goal. They had to survive living on an island.
Yeah.
All right, and that was essentially it. And how it all went is that the guys were the ones who ended up doing everything, like getting all the work and all that kind of stuff. And some of them would cooperate, some of them would not. But all the women who thought that they would just sort of partner up together were very like passive aggressive. They kept fighting each other.
Catty.
They essentially got nothing done. Well, the men had already, they set up shelter. They already gathered up firewood, and they had just started making food. And the women eventually had to go up to the men and ask for their help.
Exactly. Have you ever been in a situation where you need to actually survive, where there's a situation where you're like, okay, this is bad, but you know what? We can do this. This is okay, but we need to survive. And in order for us to survive is we need to keep this fire going. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a few people, and we're going to say, hey, look, you need to go get the fire going, and we need you to go find more firewood. And we're like seriously, like I've been in such a situation before, like where you need to tell someone, or you need to act in a way that you tell someone, hey, look, we need more firewood, and it's going to be you and me that go and get firewood, or I'm going to tell you to go get more firewood. That sort of bullshit. And like it's not like a like a lot of feminists would like to say, this is a masculine sort of bullshit. It's a, hey, look, it's a functional thing, and we need to get this more than we need to not get this, and you're going to either do this or not. And if you don't, then like if you say, like if we know that we need more firewood, and if we don't have
what happened?
I don't know.
Did someone mute him?
Sorry, I muted myself. It wasn't. I hit my space bar. But yeah, it's one of those things that like if we need more firewood, and we all know that we need more firewood, and if you're going to choose not to get more firewood because, well, the man told me to get it, and like I'm not going to deal with this subjugation sort of bullshit, it's fucking wrong. And you know, like I've been in situations before where, hey, look, we have to work together, otherwise we're going to die, and it's fucking sucks. Like,
well, and like,
seriously.
okay. One of the characters' nicknames on Lord of the Flies was Piggy. Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna? Are they gonna replace that with Peggy?
Piglet. Oh no.
Chunk.
Chunky.
Yeah, like the
Chunky.
nicknames and stuff. It's like the girl version. Like girls aren't as violent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, girls can be fairly violent, but I think that it's too much of a divide from the original source material. And also, I mean, we have to remember that people are not very happy with the way things have been going so far in the way of reboots. Because the Ghostbusters movie is the biggest example. People just don't want you to go too far with this stuff.
Yes.
I mean, they'll tolerate a minor change every now and then, but they wouldn't tolerate massive changes like complete gender swap. Ghostbusters is one example. Other things you can tolerate, like right now in the sequel for Deadpool, one of the characters who originally has white skin and a black patch on one of her eyes. Well, now they've gendered, or not gendered, they've changed the race, and so that she's now a black woman with a white spot. And the person with the white skin, it was like I think it was a mutant power oriented stuff. In this case, you're just changing their ethnicity, which makes not much sense. But that's a smaller change, and I can tolerate that because there's other characters in there. That's why it's tolerable. Granted, I really wanted to see Domino in the white outfit. Like if they, I don't mind black people getting their skin colored white. That's okay with me. I mean, as long as you're true to the character, I don't care. That's all that matters. We'll see.
Yep.
I totally get what you're coming from. Yeah.
Just not too much that it doesn't make sense or logical in a way. Illogical.
Yeah. Well, some things that didn't make sense, like the Dark Tower movie, the changing of the race of the main character, zero sense.
You saw how well that movie did.
Oh yeah. I almost feel like at this point you gotta feel sorry for Sony because everything they've been doing has had a huge flop. I think it was Sony that did Dark Tower. That was a big flop.
That movie.
Flop. The Emoji movie was a flop, but not really because they made a fair bit of money off of it because parents were taking their kids to see it, and that's where they got all their money.
Okay, but then again, I still think about the empty movie seats out there. Those movie theaters.
I mean,
at least it just flopped because it's just the concept in itself. Actually, the people said the concept was interesting, but the execution was bad. Was it?
It was essentially a ripoff of like Wreck-It Ralph and all the other movies. It felt like a regurgitation of more popular movies. It's like one of those movies that you see like straight on DVD made by a company that does nothing but make ripoff versions of more popuper movies. That's what it sort of felt like for a lot of people.
Except now, this is a high budget film though, is it?
Yeah, but it was rushed. So I mean, like really rushed. So high budget is questionable.
Okay, so they rushed it. Okay, so let me think of an example of who rushed their games. Ubisoft, wasn't it? Trying to think of video game reference who rushed their video games and it turned out to be absolute garbage.
Destiny, which I'm not gonna say was garbage. Destiny is a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, but
all story-oriented stuff was gone, and so it felt like a game with no story, and you're just going around killing people. And I just felt so lonely because I couldn't really communicate with other people at first. I'm like, I'm so lonely. All I'm doing is killing.
Yeah. One image I saw looks like Assassin's Creed suffered that. Assassin's Creed games.
Assassin's Creed is always a mixed bag. Sometimes
just sort of an introduction. One of those things. It's like you said. Yeah, I'm not interacting with people. It feels kind of weird, sort of thing. Like I'm a strange introvert. So for me, like the type of games that I sort of delve into, and those ones that keep my attention You know, like a lot of the Fallout games. Like I've been a Fallout fan since and like I bought Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 when they came out, you know, like when they came out on CD, sort of bullshit. But yeah, like you look at those different things, like for instance, well, sorry, not to say that you look at those things differently, but I look at those things differently because there's a certain amount of, you know, like, is it a multiplayer game? If not, then you're going to have a certain amount of people who want to actually play this game, and the people who attract to the game want to stay with it. Because for me, like, I'm perfectly fine with, you know, like Skyrim that doesn't have multiplayer, that I can play that game for, you know, like I can continue playing that game for probably another, you know, like, you know, 5-10 years sort of bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't need another person to play it with me sort of thing. Like I do Google, and I look at, like, you know, like Reddit sort of threads and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how do I do this or that sort of bullshit? But yeah, hey, what's up, Cherry?
I like games with replay value, right? So
Me too. Like, seriously, like I just beat Fallout 4, and I'm planning it again. I'm starting it again, and but like I've been, yeah, like I said, like Fallout, like that's one of those series that I have a Brotherhood of Steel tattoo. I've been playing that game forever, like since, you know, like it was on a Celeron sort of processor, sort of bullshit. But
the 2D one.
yeah, but when you're looking at games, you're looking at people. Okay, you're looking at people with different personality types, and you look at people who are more focused on one thing or another, and you got to pick an in between sort of thing. And if you just game for one or the other, then, you know, you're gonna have problems because you're gonna lose those people who just want A or B rather than, you know, the rest of the situation. It's like Gamergate, like when you think, hey, I want to do this, and like this is important to me, and I hate that people are attacking you for A and B, but I don't give a shit about the rest of the things, sort of thing. Yeah, it's like, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hate the whole Gamergate thing too. It's stupid. Like, they don't even get what the original Gamergate was supposed to be about. Everything is Gamergate now, and it's just ridiculous. It's not. It's like, that's not what
Right.
Gamergate is. You know, it's not. It's supposed to be about ethics and game journalism. That's it. That was supposed to be it, and it turned into some alt-right thing now.
Have you seen the copies of Chelsea Van Valkenburg? Her new her book has been released online through Pastebin.
I don't even know who that is.
It's Zoe Quinn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chelsea Van Valkenburg is her real name, but she changed it.
Nice. Why did you change it to that? You know, is it based on anything? The Zoe Quinn thing?
No, she's just a boring person. Like, I've dealt with a lot of leftists in my life, and I'm posting this over here. Copy paste. No, she's just a boring person, and, you know, like those people who constantly need to be victims. They'll say everyone else did this to me, and, you know, like in my opinion, if you need to blame everyone else for your life, then you've probably done something poorly. Like you need to be able to say, hey, like if you're not an actor, you're just a victim, sort of bullshit. And if you're just a victim, then you're not paying attention. You're not doing things well.
Yeah, but these people don't have any sense of self-awareness.
Wait, hey, where did our human calculator go?
I don't know.
Not a single cackle. Not even a giggle. God damn it. No one laughs at my Asian jokes.
Right. Yeah,
I smile at jokes. I don't laugh too much, but yeah, I got it.
Why he no doctor yet?
Why you no doctor?
Do you know that Canada has been providing asylum to gay people fleeing Chechnya, apparently?
Hey, Chairview, which time zone are you in? Right now it's 8:19 over here in the Pacific time zone.
Eastern, so it's 11.
No shit.
11,
Okay.
Oh, it's 11 for you right now? Oh, okay. It's like 9:30 for me.
So you're central?
Yeah, I guess. You're talking to a dyslexic moron here, so I mean, you can ask me these questions all day long, and I wouldn't be able to answer them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The time difference makes it difficult for scheduling these things, right?
Yeah, I definitely. You know, I think that you would do, or at least in my opinion, you might do a little bit better scheduling them a little bit later.
Well,
but
10 o'clock at night is already late for me.
Yeah, 10 for you is 7 on the Pacific Coast. So.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of other people that try and come on that their time zone's the same, so it's like. So it's been difficult, but I've been doing it. And this streaming channel only has like 23 subs right now, so. I don't get streaming back until November.
No kidding.
Yeah, I got.
What'd you get hit for?
Making a meme of Heather Hayer.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah. With the Grand Theft Auto thing when you die.
Oh, the wasted.
Yeah. I slowed it down and everything. Oh yeah, and I also said that the driver's name was John Cena, and I.
John Cena or John Seaman?
John Cena.
Okay then.
Hey, what sort of software do you use for making videos? ShareView.
Filmora, Wondershare Filmora.
Wait, what?
Oh, Wondershare Filmora.
That's a type of software?
Yep. It is. It works for what I do anyway. It's basic, but it does the trick. What about you?
I worked. Okay, so the last companies that I've worked for were adult entertainment. So we all use Sony Vegas. But right now I like Resolve, which is made by Black Magic.
Do you make like covers, or do you do like editing?
No. I worked for a company that did both production and distribution. So I was a smut peddler, and
well, at least you weren't a fluffer or anything, you know.
Yeah, I didn't have to touch any dicks. No, I was king nerd.
Did they give you free? Did you get free porn for it at least?
Well, I could download anything I wanted, but at the same time, it's like I don't want any of this. This is gross.
There's an interesting thing on Joe Rogan where he was interviewed. I forget what his name was, but this guy did this documentary thing looking at. Basically, it was the creation of Pornhub and how that came to be and stuff, and he was discussing it.
In fact, I know the people from Pornhub through a work relationship. I know those ladies, and they all treat it the same way. And the company that I worked for did the exact same thing, and they were just, you know, like trying to be nice, and it fucking sucks, dude. I don't like these people. Like I don't want to deal with these people, and it fucking sucked. So I had to, and I still do.
What the Pornhub people? You don't like them?
No, they're fucking. They make claims, but at the same time, they're extremely dishonest. And like for instance, you want to look at porn usage, which, you know, you run a CDN. I built a CDN. You deal with these people who use it for a specific purpose, and like you'll notice things like tea time in the Great Britain area, you know, like our London node. I noticed that there was this significant, you know, drop off of traffic. Well, people would stop looking at porn in order to have tea. Like, no kidding. I was like, oh my god, what's happening at, you know, like it was UT time. Yeah, like what's going on? Well, they looked at porn at that time, but they stopped to have tea at the exact same time every day.
Of course, yeah.
They knock it off, and it was pretty funny to me. But yeah, you know, like, well, imagine working for a company like that, and then you have to like kind of like talk to people, talk to your family about what you work at, sort of thing. Like, how do you, you know, not just justify, but how do you preface the things that you do? Like, oh, cool. Hey, you know what? For me, my accomplishment of the month was I set up a bunch of different CDN nodes, you know, content distribution nodes. I set up a bunch of them, and it's really cool because now we can service, you know, another several countries. Well, when I tell other people that I know, you know, like family, it's like, yeah, I worked for a porn company, and now I can model, and now I can, you know, submit my porn to these other areas. Like it gets to be a little bit you don't want to do it so much.
Yeah. No, but they were talking about how like he's basically making money off, you know, stolen content, basically, that people will download content that they got legally and then just upload it without permission or anything, right?
You talking about what's this
Pornhub.
called? The Dusty?
Pornhub.
Oh, Pornhub. All right.
Yeah, Cult of Dusty runs tube sites. They're called tube sites. You know, like YouTube. Well, you know, YouTube isn't the first tube site.
Oh yeah, he's got like others.
Yeah. Actually, how he made his money was through he downloads porn, like, you know, scenes, and then he uploads them to other websites, and then he gets a profit if anyone signs up. And that's how Cult of Dusty makes his money. And he like wrote like an ebook or bullshit, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's how he makes his money. So
it's really funny. But that's basically what Pornhub was. And like all these companies, like when he first bought it in the 90s, right? All these companies, whatever, they were going under, so he purchased all these companies for very little money, and like took over internet porn. Basically, if someone contacts him and says, "Take my scene down," right? He'll take it down, but then someone else will just upload it again, and it's like it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, all right,
So
we're
you
gonna end the
heard-
live- we're gonna
Oh,
end the
okay.
live portion of this. We can still hang out though.
Oh, okay.